And here I think we have a candidate for the finest episode of the second season in The Problem with Popplers, a widely beloved episode. I think it's one of the premises which, even just the title of the episode, you mention it to people who are familiar with the show and it gets a resounding appraisal. I think even more casual fans of the show, vaguely familiar with this, having seen it on television, consider it one of the more definitive or overt instances of Futurama's distinctiveness as a show, using a science fiction concept to be as a very fluid metaphor for a contemporary phenomenon, and trying to distill all of the issues in a manner that's amusing but also kind of sharply poignant. It's one of the great pieces of 25 minute satires in a TV episode, cartoon form of the 2000s, and I can't imagine another show which has episodes because this puts South Park to shame, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. And you know it's sharp because you really want to eat the Popplers. They string you along so well, and you're just like, oh, that looks delicious.
Like they did with Slurm in...
similar to Slurm, yeah. And then at the end, I suppose you want to eat a hippie and look at your hands for a while.
Why not?
Yeah, no, this episode is a classic. I think it's undeniable at this point in time. It's sort of one that, like you mentioned, it must have gotten rerun more than most other episodes, because I swear it was always on, and it was always worthwhile. It's always an event when it was on television. You're like, oh, stop what you're doing, watch Popplers.
Don't stop talking, eat Popplers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of catchphrases we get from this one. No, we isn't. We taught a lion to eat tofu.
Yeah.
Ride the walrus. So I'm making a point. Like, there's just some Kaka head. Like there's just so much great.
Oh, it's non-stop
dialogue tidbits in this episode.
It feels a bit like a season 1, but it's like the bridge between 1 and 3.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And one thing I think it was in the commentary in this episode. Initially, the plan was it was going to be Fry who was going to be eaten by the Omicronians. He was going to be the first to eat the Popplers, but they changed it to Leela because they thought that would be more interesting because she was defending the Popplers.
Yeah, and funnier as well because you can put the orangutan joke in there and stuff. Like I guess that would work with Fry, but it's really funny with Leela just because of how image conscious she is, and like that's one of the main dynamics of her character.
I was watching the episode we did recently, of course, and one thing I noted briefly was this is like the closest instance I think in the classic run of Zap Brannigan trying to do something noble when he's trying to the plan to be orangutan.
That's true, actually.
And initially he until Lur points the laser pistol at his face. He's refusing to tell. I mean, at least it's a decency to apologize. I mean, I love how like this is the closest thing we have to like a virtuous noble Zap Brannigan moment, and it's still kind of pathetic and falls on his face.
Yeah, because it's still for his own ends as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's true. That is a great... Yeah, every time Zap's in the show, they always find something new for him to do. It's great.
Yeah, especially at this point. Like, it's still one of his... It's almost one of the very best appearances of his, because he's very important to the plot. You think it's all hope's lost, and then of all characters to kind of come in and display that there's some hope left. It's like Zap. It's just like, what?
Come to think of it, you know where he shines as well? The movies. He's pretty good in the movies, too.
I remember he's memorable in Bender's Big Score.
Yeah, definitely.
And in Beast of a Billion Backs, because that's Amy and Kif, that triangle thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's in Bender's Game, but I remember he's
in the
primary
last
antagonist in the fourth one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Duran Duran singing. I remember.
Yeah, they give him a good run, definitely.
Yeah, well, they thought that was going to be the last, the end of the show period.
Yeah.
Those films, and a part of me, as brilliant as I've said this before on this retrospective, perhaps, as brilliant as Idol Devil's Hands are as a conclusion, a part of me has a soft spot for like Wild Green Yonder as like the conclusion, like the wormhole.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
I almost prefer like that, you know what I mean? That is the conclusion, but then Idol's Hands being kind of the end of a season.
Yeah, that's a more sort of more fulfilling sort of ending.
It's like Idol's Hands at the end is like it's beautifully melancholic, but it is melancholic.
Yeah,
kind of want a bit more.
It is a melancholic ending. That's true.
Credit to it, mind you.
Before I ever saw the DVD run or whatever, I just caught that episode on television and many times, and I didn't realize it was the last episode of Futurama chronologically.
Oh, sure.
to me, I was just like as a single episode, it's a great ending, but yeah, for the whole series, it's not quite the same as the Yondu one. That is great.
I always knew Devil's Hands is the last episode. I would have seen it as a DVD first,
Mm.
and also just I'd read the episode lists on the internet at some point.
Yeah, okay.
Ideas of what happens later. Not
You could probably end the show on Popplers, and it'd be pretty good as well.
It would be like even more so than something like Firefly, like the greatest show ended before its time. It already was anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but just because it would be such a small run if it ended at Popplers.
Yeah.
After season 2 in general.
Sure. Yeah.
God, that would have been tragic.
Oh, of course.
And tragic as it was to end, because just to continue the momentum for another 3 seasons, like at that time, God, and they're on an uphill trajectory as well. Like it really is a tragedy.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man, but yeah, this is such a great episode. I mean, we don't have to tell you people.
Do you think it's the best of season 2?
It'd have to be. Like off the top of your head, it always is. But I mean, you could probably strain for a better episode. But I'm just gonna have to say yes because it's just the one that's foremost in one's mind, you know?
I would say it's either this or the next one, which will be discussed, which is the first Anthology of Interest episode.
Yeah, that's true. I always forget that that's season 2. I'm quite impressed.
Yeah. Unless there's anything else worth sharing, I may as well...
Oh, yeah. See you guys in Anthology.